If you've been following us for a while, you know that we have been fortunate enough to secure a couple STRs, short-term rentals, ourselves here in town. And to some locals, that makes us the bad guys. But whatever. Now, there are a handful of videos on this channel that talk about how to get one permitted here within the city, or even how to get them started from scratch. But today, we're gonna touch on something really important: how to manage one, and some really great tips and tricks that we use to help keep our rentals at the top of the search results. Okay, first off, we should touch on the fact that there are really two ways to do this here. One, hire a management company, or two, do it yourself. Now, we have worked with and are currently working with plenty of clients that are from out of the area. Hey guys, brilliant strategy. You find a place that you love to go to, vacation at, etc. Then buy a second home there and use it as a income generating asset. And it doubles as a place to stay while you visit. And what's also a very cool idea is if you're planning on actually moving to that area, maybe later on, you already have a place there when you're ready to move. But the problem is, if you're not already there, who's gonna manage it? Management companies in general charge a bunch. And currently, we have no plans to start a management company of our own. Currently. In either case, property management companies do vary, but for the most part, they do cover everything. Cleaning, the management, the communication, they can even help set up handyman services to come fix things for you, but at what cost? Well, most long-term rental companies charge somewhere in the neighborhood of 5 to 10%. Short-term rental operations, because of the busy nature of people coming and going all the time, I've seen them charge around 25% as kind of an average. I've seen it as low as 18. I've also seen it as high as 30%. Could you imagine grossing $100,000 in a year and paying out $30,000? Man. Again, as with everything else, you get what you pay for. But also, check resources, check their reviews. See if you can't negotiate down a little bit, because that's a lot of money. The next option, and this is really geared towards people living in town, but it can be effectively done from people outside of town. I've seen it happen. And yes, this is what we do. We manage it ourselves. Hey, we do live in town. In either case, our listings are managed well enough. I don't want to say so well, because I don't really want to jinx myself. Our listings are managed well enough that they actually all appear on the first page of the Airbnb search results, which is huge, especially since Bend has some of the highest concentrations of Airbnbs in the country. So as a review, here are the 4 big things that will get you booked: price, copy, photos, and reviews. Now, what was a huge advantage for us when we were getting started is the first 3 are the same as when you're listing a house for sale on real estate. Price. Look, there's no other way around it. People are shopping you. You have competition. So you have to look at that competition and price yourself accordingly. Copy. Look, you're selling here, and I hate selling. But the written remarks about your place and what it entails and how you describe the space are really the only other thing that the person who wants to book knows and can even find out about your space besides the photos. So it really helps put together a complete picture. Photos. Okay, seriously, this one isn't even negotiable. Your photos are the sex appeal that will get people to book. The visuals are the most important. Hire a professional photographer. Just do it. Reviews. Reviews are the end of the journey, and ultimately the ticket to make sure that you get booked again. And I don't know this, but probably one of the biggest factors that Airbnb looks at to promote your listing and get it to search higher in the rankings. So get those 5-star reviews, because it can make the difference between first page on Airbnb and you'll never see it again. Bye-bye. So now that we've reviewed the big 4, here's how to crush it by managing them properly, because it all comes down to how you have to manage those 4 things. But before we do that, let's take a super quick timeout. Let us know down in the comment section below, what other things do you guys want to know about with respect to anything Bend Living, Bend Real Estate, short-term rentals in Bend? Let us know in the comment section down below. We want to hear from you. Okay, price. Seriously, this is one lesson that we just learned ourselves. Airbnb has some pretty good tech that can fluctuate the pricing for you. It's called dynamic pricing. So the price goes up during busy seasons or busy times, and the price comes down during shoulder seasons and whatnot, stuff like that. And if you're not taking advantage of that because you've just got a flat rate every single day, night of the year round, you're not really, I'm not gonna say it. But outside of Airbnb's own thing, there are third-party applications that actually do a much better job of varying the nightly rates. We are currently using a third-party platform called Price Labs, and it's made a huge difference in our rental income. It has some pretty advanced AI, and it knows down to the day what certain events are coming in town or what the seasons are, and it will fluctuate those prices based on the demand and based on the events that are actually happening in town. So recently a bunch of concerts were announced back in the spring. We have a rental that's right near one of the concert venues, and literally the same day that the bands were announced for this concert series, our nightly rates jumped up before they were even booked, which is awesome. And we were actually shocked by how on top of it they were. Now, there are a bunch of different dynamic pricing applications out there that you can use, and they do cost a little bit of money, but for us, the $30 a month or whatever it was versus the 15 to 20% overall annual revenue increase, well worth the price of admission. Next up is copy. I don't know. I mean, just write better copy, take your time. I don't really have anything here. I suppose the college has classes you could take. Okay, photos. We've already talked about this, but the photos are really the bait. This is what's gonna get people to actually click on your listing, scroll through the photos, and learn more. This is the window of opportunity for you. So the easiest way to get a professional photographer is to literally just go to Google and search real estate photography and find a good real estate photographer. They take pictures of all the homes that you see on all the MLS. They have a ton of experience in this specific realm, but make sure you ask them if they have any experience with actual short-term rental photography. It's mostly the same, but it's not exactly the same. This is something we preach way over the top to everybody, every single one of our clients, that they have to have professional photography. Yet, if I was being honest, we ourselves could probably still do a better job. Maybe some of the detail photos, cool little, they're called detail shots. We could probably do a better job of that ourselves even. Okay, last but not least is reviews, and this is a big one. Because as we mentioned, this is where your rental actually builds credibility. One bad score and you're sunk. Now, communication is probably one of the best ways to ensure that you're gonna have a good review. But let's think about this. You're not in property management, you're in hospitality. So the better you can communicate, and the better you can acknowledge your guests, well, the better. That and communication is actually one of the things that, they review you on and give you a score for. So that's important. So again, Airbnb has a communication function built into their own platform. You can save responses so you don't have to recreate them or retype them every time you need to send check-in instructions, and it saves a bunch of time. You get a booking, and instead of saying, "Thanks so much for booking, we are glad to have you. We will be sure to send you the check instructions 3 days ahead of your arrival," I'll just click a button and it'll auto-populate the message. But once again, there are third-party applications that can do this even better. We are currently using one called Hospitable, but there are plenty out there. You can program any amount of responses at any time. So 7 minutes after they book, you can automatically respond using one of your saved responses. You can even send automatic responses set to specific days of the week. Say if the landscaper comes every Wednesday or the garbage man comes every Tuesday. You can send messages the day before they arrive, the day after they arrive, even the day after they leave. You can even send automatic reviews to your guests, assuming they're gonna be 5 stars, right? And honestly, in my opinion, this is where reviews are won and lost. You must carefully craft your responses so that the words can adapt to all kinds of different guest situations. Our response after receiving a booking is this: Sounds great. Looking forward to having you, because they just booked. We will be sure to have your check-in instructions ready and sent 3 days ahead of your arrival. That's what they can expect next, right? It sounds like you already know how great Bend is already, but in either case, I'm sure you're going to love it. Now, when they book, they have to say why they're coming. And I don't know what they're gonna say. Sometimes they say, oh, we love Bend. Sometimes they say, I've never been there before. But in either case, it sounds like you already know how great Bend is already. Whether they do or they don't, they're coming, right? But in either case, I'm sure you're gonna love it. It sounds like I read what they wrote to me, and that is my response. Crafty wordsmithing there. And after all of that, 95% of our communication that happens through the platform is automatic. There are responses that have already been pre-written that basically takes care of every situation. They just automatically go out at the right time. So, long story short, look into this. It's a game changer. If your house is nice, it's priced right, and your communication is on point, once again, thinking through the hospitality lens, you should be well on your way to getting great 5-star reviews. Now, all this you can manage from afar. It's true. I know people that have rentals all over the country, and they actually manage them all right from their phone. Now, what you do need is a great cleaning company and a great handyman in town. And this is a challenge. The challenge, in fact. Handyman can come and go, cleaners even can come and go, and depending on how much you want them to be involved and what they have to do if you're from afar, they can charge a bunch. But ultimately, it can totally be worth it to avoid paying the 25 to 30% management fees. Chances are, you're probably gonna do a much better job of managing it anyway yourself because, let's face it, it's your baby, it's your investment. And it's your reputation on the line if you start collecting bad reviews, which you won't let happen, right? All in all, I think depending on your level of commitment and work ethic, remember, this is a job, managing your own vacation rental. You can manage your own and do a really good job at it using some of the tips and tricks that we've mentioned here in this video. But also, it's not for everyone. And sometimes the lucrative nature of short-term rentals can still make it a really great investment, even still, if you're using a management company and having to pay out that 25% fee. Whew! Okay, that is our allotted time for this week. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to let them know down below. Go ahead and smash the like button if that's what you're into. And you know what? Consider checking out our playlist coming right up over here. All our other videos regarding short-term rentals and how to operate them and how to start them are right up here. Thanks guys for watching. We'll see you next week.